Hello students, how are you? Hope you will be fine at your home. In my previous video I have taught you the noun and its kinds. And today I am going to teach you gender and cases of noun. And so here we go. Let's see. Gender. Gender is a Latin word, genus, which means sort or kind. As we know that there are four genders of noun in English, that is masculine, feminine, common and neuter. So here I have written a short trick MFCN. M stands for masculine gender, F stands for feminine gender, C for common gender and N for neuter gender. Generally, this masculine gender refers to male persons or animals, and therefore it could be divided or classified into two groups, two categories like personal and non-personal. Personal in personal gender, personal masculine gender, we would have all the persons like man, king, duke. In non-personal gender, this lion, tiger and horse. So all the male persons and animals are classified into masculine gender. Similarly, the noun that refers to female animals or persons, that is called feminine gender. It also classified into two categories like personal and non-personal. See, you can see the examples: woman, queen, duchess. Non-personal, lioness, tigress and mare. So we have seen that masculine refers to male animals or persons, feminine refers to female animals or persons. Similarly, common gender refers both, means either male or female animals or persons. Examples like doctor, teacher, students, they are the examples of personal common gender. And similarly, the non-personal common genders are ass, goat, buffalo. And why? Because we can say he buffalo, she buffalo, similarly he goat and she goat. Right? So the gender next is neuter gender. Neuter gender means non-living things. It neither refers to male or female. It refers to common, and it is further classified into animated and inanimated or non-animated objects. Animated objects are like plants, trees, and inanimated objects, book, pen, pencil, camera. They are the examples of inanimated neuter gender. So here so far you can see the genders are four: feminine, masculine, common and neuter. Right? Masculine refers to males, feminine to females, common to all, means we can say both animals, both male and female, and neuter refers to non-human things, we can say, or non-living things, plants, trees, books and etc. etc. Right? So okay, now I am going to teach you the case. A case shows the position of noun or pronoun in a sentence, and basically today I am going to teach you the nominative case, accusative case, dative case and the possessive case. So first of all I will teach you the nominative or subjective case. The noun, or you can say the noun, when it is used as the subject of a verb, it is said to be in nominative or subjective case. For example, you can say Rahul told a story. So here you can see this word Rahul. Rahul is the subject of verb told. So Rahul is the subject of this verb. So it will be, or it is a nominative case. Nominative. It is a nominative case or subjective case because it is the subject of the verb told. There is a very simple method to find, to identify the nominative case. When we will ask who or what question to the verb and the remaining part, if the remaining part is the answer, then it is a nominative case. For example, if I say who who told a story, who told a story, who told a story, the answer is Rahul told a story. So therefore Rahul is a nominative or subjective case of in this sentence, and it is the subject of the verb told. Similarly, if we talk about objective or accusative case, when a noun or pronoun used as the object of the verb, it is said to be in accusative or objective case. For example, you can see Rahul helped Raman. Rahul helped Raman. So here Raman is the object of the verb helped. So there is the simple method to identify, to find out this objective case. When we ask whom or what question and before the subject and verb, the answer will be accusative or objective case. For example, if I ask whom did Rahul help, the answer is Raman. So Raman is an objective case. Other examples is if we ask what question, the answer, if the answer will be the accusative or objective case. Here in the first example, if I ask the question what Rahul told a story, if here I ask what did Rahul tell, what did Rahul tell, the answer will be a story. So here the a story is an objective case, right? So subjective means subject, the noun is the subject of the verb. Objective or accusative means when the noun is used as the object of the verb, like this Raman. I would like to, okay, apart from subjective and objective case, we have dative case and possessive case. So first of all, now we will learn about dative case. Dative case is when a noun or pronoun used as an indirect object of a verb, it is said to be in dative case, right? So basically we have two objects in a sentence. We might have two objects, indirect object and direct object. Okay, so this basically this can be find out by asking a question to whom or for whom question in a sentence. If we will ask a question to whom or for whom, we can find the dative case in a sentence very easily. Now you can see here, Deepak gifted Raman a pen. Here Raman is an indirect object. Indirect object. And a pen is a direct object. One more thing about indirect object is that it is always used next to the verb, or you can say just after the verb. It always refers to the persons, unlike direct object which refers to the things, right? So here Raman is an indirect object and it is a dative case. It is a dative case. For example, I have here given a question, we can ask a question to find this dative case as well. If I ask whom did or to whom did Deepak gift a pen, the answer is Raman. So therefore Raman is a dative case. Similarly, she walked wavy a wall, right? For whom did she buy a wall? Wavy. So this wavy is a dative case. Dative case. As I have told you, it is always person. Dative case always refers to the person. It is used as in an indirect object in a sentence. It is used just after the main verb in a sentence, right? Dative case is a person or noun which refers to persons and used as an indirect object in a verb in a sentence. Now proceeding to the next one, that is the possessive case. It refers to the possession or ownership. It is also called the genitive case. Genitive case or possessive case answers the question whose, right? Whose. The example is Sita's father is a teacher. So if we will ask the question whose father is a teacher, the answer will be Sita's father. So Sita's, it is a possessive case. Similarly, her sister is a singer. So again, if we will ask a question whose sister is singer, her sister is singer. So it is again the possessive case, right? Okay, so far we have seen the cases that are subjective case, objective case, dative case, possessive or genitive case. This genitive or possessive case can be formed. The first rule is where we can add apostrophe s to the singular noun, and the this possessive case will be formed like this: wise, book, king's rule, like this. But the condition is that there should not be any hissing sound in it. If there are too many hissing sound in the noun, in the singular noun, we generally add to apostrophe it. We do not add s with it, like this: Justice's shake, Keats' poetry, Wordsworth natural poetry, etc. Right? But when the plural noun, and that is ends in s, we only add apostrophe to it. We do not add apostrophe and s. Like you can see, wise room. So here wise means many boys. This is plural and ends in s. So therefore we are not supposed to add apostrophe and s. We will simply add an apostrophe to it. Similarly, girls, many girls, plural, ends in s. So we are supposed to add only apostrophe. If we will write like this, apostrophe s, this will be wrong, right? But the next rule says we use apostrophe and s both when the noun is plural and it does not end in s, like this: children is a plural and it does not end in s, so we have to use apostrophe and s both. Children's park, women's college, men's parlor, etc., etc. Okay, so in this way we will form the possessive case. So proceeding to the next rule, to form the possessive case, if the noun consists many words, we add the apostrophe to the last word only. For example, King of Bhutan's visit was historic. Here king of Bhutans. Many words are there. One noun is king, other is Bhutan. So they refers to the same person. So we are supposed to add the apostrophe as to the last word only to form the possessive case. Similarly, President of India's speech was excellent. Here, President and India. Noun, many nouns are there for the one subject, so we are supposed to add the apostrophe only in the last word. The next rule says when the noun in apposition. Apposition means placing near. Or in other words, we can say when the one noun tells something or describing other noun, that is called the noun in apposition. Here we can see Tagore, other noun is telling about his profession, that is poet. So when two nouns are in apposition, we are supposed to add the apostrophe to the later only. Right? Similarly, the other word sentence is Rohit, that is Rohit, the captain's mother. Here Rohit and this captain is the noun in apposition. As I have told you, when two nouns are placed together and the other noun tells or adds something to the first noun, that is called the noun clause in apposition. So the captain, right? So we are supposed to add the apostrophe to the later word only. So the next rule says when two nouns are closely connected to each other, we add the apostrophe to the later word only. For example, you can see Gandhi and Nehru's era in the Indian history. They are closely connected to each other, means they were existing at the same time. Similarly, we can say Ram and Shyam saw. Here both are connected to each other, so we are supposed to add the apostrophe as to the last word only when the two nouns are closely connected to each other. To form the possessive case, we are supposed to add the apostrophe to the last word only. The last rule says when two nouns are implying the separate meaning. Implying means beta something which is hidden, or expressing the separate meaning, different meaning, or right. In that case, we are supposed to add apostrophe s with each noun to form the possessive case, like this Shakespeare's and Milton's sonnets, Shelley's and Byron's poetry. So they are expressing something different, something separate. Like this, when two nouns will be there and they will be expressing some separate meaning, we are supposed to add apostrophe s with each noun. Right? So this chapter, this class is completed. Right? So today, now I want you to recapitulate what you have learned today, what we have studied today. First, we have learned genders, masculine, feminine, common and neuter genders. Second, we have learned cases today, nominative or subjective case, objective or accusative case, dative case, possessive or genitive case. You have also learned today how to form the possessive case. Thank you. Please keep watching the Vikas Bharati School YouTube channel.